Okay, this is a short trade on the S&P 500, and we're short at 83.25, and we have a hard stop in at 1284.50. It's just a matter of we're waiting for the market to break lower. The hard stop stays in place. Trades initiate, trade prices right there. We're looking for first profit target of approximately, not approximately, but when I say approximately, what I'm really saying is, because a lot of times what we do, we have by the book profit targets, and then there's also the reading of price action as it starts moving, which can allow you, if you have enough experience with these strategies, you can look for larger profits. So that's what I meant by approximately. But by the book profit target, we're looking for a price to come back down to 81 area, around this area. Okay, we're looking for price to test that area. As you can see, we were short before this break even began, and that would be first profit target uh, anywhere between, if we want to go specifically by the book, this zone between these two areas would be our profit target. First profit target. At that point, you have an option of going to break, to moving your stop to entry price, or going to into a scratch stop. It's an option that you have. Profit target 2 would be lower down in this area, and essentially the strategies, this trade is triggered by the Apex Q uh, functions and concepts and strategies. Therefore, this is a presentation of the Apex Q and how it moves. As you can see, what we try to do is uh, we understand, using the quantitative methods of Apex Q, what the market directional bias is, and we want to trade in that direction. So therefore, that's the reason we are short, and our short signals are generated right at the swing points. So what we're doing is we're trading. These are not some might think this is this is obviously a 1 minute chart, but some might think this is a reversal trade, but it's this is actually just a rally in it. This is just a rally that occurred while the market is has a directional bias, in other words, a negative directional bias. So here we're getting ready for prices coming near our levels, and at this point we're only going to remove 1/3 once price enters that area. Okay, so we are now in a situation where we can quickly take our profits. We move, as I said earlier, we can move our protective stop down to an entry price, or go to a scratch stop. There's no reason at this point to go to a scratch stop, because price action has moved enough. Our first profit target was far enough from our entry price that we don't need to go into a we don't need to go into a scratch stop. Now, if we cannot push below this level, we will monitor this area. The next area that we're looking for is we're looking for price to enter this area here. That'll be our second profit target. If we begin to see buyers coming in here and we start consolidating, at that point it would cause me to, I'm also looking at other instruments, and as well as other uh, indicators such as market internal, since we're trading the index futures. Now we're seeing heavy volume come in here, but we want to see on a downward, but we want to see, as you can see, the heavy volumes coming in, but this candle is not able to close below this low, and we want to see that low penetrator. Otherwise, if we start hanging around in this area and we cannot push below that area, it will cause me to not consider shooting for the second profit target area down here. So it's also monitoring price action and monitoring volume action to determine the trade management. So here we go. We could not see any. We saw some heavy volume come in, but buyers couldn't close price above this area here, and we finally pushed through this low. Now that we pushed through that low, shouldn't be any reason why we could not capture. Here we go. Now we should fall. Any reason why we should not be able to capture this second profit target. Other markets are also beginning to move as well. So although we're seeing some buying come in on the S&Ps, YM and NQ are trying to move lower, but there also, it looks like there's some short covering in there as well. So we haven't yet completely reached the second profit target as of yet. So now the next part is trade management is very, very important, and too often the focus is put solely on entries and trade management is ignored. In order to truly maximize your profit potential, you really need to focus a lot on trade management. And so we broke this low, and now we're trying to come back up here. A close above this high is going to cause me to want to exit this trade completely. That will show that buyers have come in with full force. So it's very important that we can remain below that low. I don't cherry pick these trades on these videos. These are trades that I see, and if I have the time and the patience to make videos, then I do. Often I'm not in the, I don't want to distract myself from trading, because that's my job basically. And making videos and trading is always, trading by itself requires focus. Making videos while trading makes it even a little bit harder. So in other words, some of the trades that I post, you'll see them running with huge magnitudes, and some of the trades I have no problems closing this trade if we close above this area. And the reason is because I'm managing these trades the same way I would manage them if I were not recording the videos. When I do record videos, it's usually because I've already accomplished my goal for the day, and I begin to look for, then I become pretty picky, and I take trades that are high probability for me, or just I can't resist them. And in other words, I do it on my free time. I don't shorted the market in this area here, covered exactly at these lows here. When we also shorted in this area as well. When I say we, because there's several of us that trade in the same location, shorted in this area, but on this retrace we couldn't hold it, so we got taken out. But then we got another signal and shorted in this area again. So this is, we've been shorting today, and the reason for it is because of a directional bias. When I capture a, when I capture I'm looking for big trades during the day, and when I capture the big moves, that there are usually one, two, or three big moves that occur during the day, and when I capture those, then it's my job, in terms of my responsibilities to my job, are pretty much accomplished, and then I can focus on creating either live trade videos or doing instructional videos. So we can see that exactly, and I drew these lines, prior to we came up to here, and we can see that we're exactly consolidating in this area. So a key understanding of price action is always very important. In other words, just basic concepts of price action, understanding support, resistance, understanding volume information, understanding being able to read candlesticks, being able to determine difference between widespread bars and narrow bars, wide range bars and narrow range bars, etc. All those are tied together, are valuable. If you just rely on candlesticks to make money trading, you're not going to do that well. But when you tie everything together, then the value of it begins coming up. So again, we're still in this area. We want to see price move lower, and the more we hang out in this area, the probabilities for us to break above this area become higher. So this is the final test, that we're testing that low again. We want to see volume come in to push it below. So we did break that low. Let's see if we could creep right into our profit target zone in this area. Okay, so now that we are in the second profit, it's time to, we took out our third, and at this point we're getting to a level that really should consider exiting the remainder, just because we're seeing a lot of buying come in here and here on higher and higher volume. Every time we try to go lower, buyers are coming in at these levels, so we're not really getting, and now we're testing this area again. Just my experience, and you get a feeling when you do this long enough, you can just pick up nuances just by the way price is moving. And when I see price moving the way it is right now, you can just feel that every time we try to go lower, buyers are coming in, and that causes me to, and I'm going by the book, taking profits in these zones that we have. So obviously the third profit target would be a test of these lows here. The only thing that's keeping me in this trade is that they're buying the S&Ps, but they're not buying the other E-minis, and that's what's keeping me in this trade. This is an area where if we break this, if we break these lows, this trade will run big time. So here's what we can do at this point. To capture that big run, we've already had a good trade. We've captured two profit targets too. We can, but we are at major support right now. So we have the option of, this is the safest thing that we could do, the most conservative approach. So we can say that we took out pretty much 25 contracts from up here to down here, and we're also positioned if we break these lows, because if we break these lows, this trade will run big time. Because this is also major support levels here, so the probabilities of breaking it, although in terms of what this day has done, there is that probability, but the odds of it happening, we're probably going to bounce a little bit before we do it. So why not leave 5 contracts in here, and if you get stopped, then you get stopped on it. Obviously we're not going to let it go above this level here, so we can move it down to 81, 82 level. when you have a runner like this, why not try to capture it if it begins running? Although it looks like we're holding this level, and this is major support, as I said, but we can give it a little bit of time and see if it runs with us, for us, I should say. Okay, so we ran this low, and it looked like we were going to fall, and then we busted right back above it, so it's time for me to close my position.